Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another stream about Salvus, Aries. We're finally gonna continue from chapter 5. Though honestly, I might have chosen a bad route to start on. Because I did not read the developer's notes. And they said around the lines of like, oh, this one other character's like route is more or less done, except for the others, which I've unfortunately taken the wrong path on. So, whoops! And also, feel free to just look and just listen to the story if you want to. And thank you for dropping by as well. Okay, my throat also isn't exactly that fantastic right now, so I will do my best to voice out the lines, though I might take pauses to drink water or like have some throat candies. Okay, where is it? Time had never flowed more slowly. The lounge where we usually enjoyed ourselves was heavy with a tragic air. Our futures were placed in the hands of a jury who would determine the scope of our crime and the punishment to follow. Right, yes, she did a whole... Oopsie! I set your brother that is now apparently a convict out. Free, scot-free. Whoops. And thank you for the future care packages as well. Everyone stood around while I was laid back on the sofa, which made me feel even more anxious. This is agony. Our crime, but really, it was all my own doing. I was sinking into a pit of guilt and confusion, but just as Velafor had reminded me, that wouldn't help anyone. The pain of what I had done hurt more than the wound on my back. The bleeding had finally stopped at least. While I may have stained Zafon's car seats, I was slowly regaining my strength. As a Reaper, I'm not supposed to feel injuries so heavily. I had only become one recently though, and still had much to make up for. If I would even get the chance to make things up, that is, I'd probably be tossed into hell for this. And the others who held responsibility for me, what would become of them?
Aina, I need you to come with me.
Oh. After pacing for some time, Sierra had suddenly stopped in front of me and urgently held my hand. Where are you taking her? Aries asked sharply, but Sierra aimed at an even fiercer stare back. It is important. KM is supposed to return for our trial as soon as the tribunal is here. We cannot afford... We'll be back in time. Sierra grabbed at my wrist and pulled me up, a hand on my back to support my weight. This must be done. Without waiting for anyone else to argue, he marched us through the door and into hallways full of whispers and stares. We passed Lilia in the hallway. She was grave, her eyebrows furrowed as she saw us hurrying along. Where are you going? You have to go to court. It is essential that I do this, Lilia. Stall by whatever means you can if you must. What? You know what I need to do.
You owe me big time.
If I live to see it, yes, I am in your debt.
He left Lilia with that and picked up our pace to make up for the few moments we've lost. If you live to? Sir? It was merely a dark joke. I didn't think you were capable of making dark jokes, sir. I can surprise you every now and then, right? Now, for one more surprise, we haven't taken you to Purgatory yet, correct? Correct. Would you like to see it? Surely you do not mean right now. I do, indeed. Is this the right time? This is the only time we have. We broke out into a run, but the strain was getting to be too much for me. I clutched my side, and Sierra immediately paused once more. I must be burdening your body. Let me carry you. I'm okay. Sierra? In one swift scoop, he tucked his arm underneath my knees and flew through the halls. This is much faster anyway. Worry not. You are lighter than a feather. Then you must wear some very heavy feathers. Ha! Indeed I do. Without stopping, he whisked me through the halls of the building. I had never seen him act with so much urgency before, which worried me somewhat. Even when healing me, he remained calm. Although his eyes had belied his anxiety, he remained steady, which I dearly appreciated. We're really going? Really? Yes. Hold tight now. If your injuries reopen, let me know immediately. I squeezed my arms around his chest, preparing for another trip through that door. Purgatory, room of respite. Determination fled in his beautiful eyes, and his voice was stronger than ever as he commanded the door to return us from where I had started my adventure. Here we are. We are not afforded the luxury of time for you to enjoy a proper tour, so we've come to where we must be. I am terribly lost, sire. I shall guide you. First, I should lay you down in this bed. I knew that he had the purest of hearts, and this was not the time for me to misunderstand any intentions, but it still caught me off guard. Pardon? He held me by the hand, and with utmost faith in him, I followed him. Lie down for me, Aina. I squeezed his hand tightly and settled myself against the sheets. It felt familiar, comforting. When I first woke up here, my vision was too hazy to recognize where I was. As I lay here now, I realized this was where I had been all that time sleeping, forgotten. I hate to ask this, but would you let go so I can sit beside you? I can do it while standing up, but I wish for my hand to remain steady. This will hurt a bit, but it must be done. As he settled next to me, my mind really did begin wandering to forbidden places. Sire? What exactly are we doing?
I'm returning to you something you lost.
Ooh. I'm returning to you something you lost. Crazy. And really? You're betting in such an emergency timing right now? That's crazy. Thank goodness. Though, on second thought, wait, not now. What did I lose? Wait. I'm here in Purgatory, laying down on what I'm guessing is a special bed and a special room. The room of respite. So that was its only purpose, somewhere I could rest for a long time. I have no memories of this place. Could it be? Does this have to do with my memories? You've always been an intelligent woman, Aina. He pet my hair fondly, just like he always did. His strokes were gentler and lingered in my hair with each caress. Sierra's eyes sparkled and I could see tears. Oh, okay. I tampered with your memories a long time ago. This is the very place I did it. In fact, I built this room just for you. Once I extricated all that hurt you, I put you into a long slumber so that you wouldn't need to roam any longer. However, I did not mean to erase all your memories of this place. I had meant to heal your heart and ease your pain. Forgive me, Aina. Did I ask you to remove my memories? To an extent. I surely did not intend to erase so much. That is all I can tell you. Why are you returning them to me now? Oh? I am afraid I may no longer be able to return them to you after today. I have to set this right. It will likely hurt. Your heart will ache beyond measure as you begin to recover your memories. I do not know if they will return to you right away, over time, or even at all. I will aim to not destroy the seal at once, but rather in the way that it erodes with time. That does not guarantee anything, though, as I've never done this before. Wow, okay, wonderful.
I must confirm this with you.
Okay.
Do you wish to recall everything?
That is something you should have asked before bringing me here, you know. Forgive me, I was not thinking clearly. I will likely be unable to reverse this. He gripped the sheets, and his knuckles grew pale. I put a hand over his trembling one, hoping to quell his anxiety. He was so confident, so sure when he brought me here, but now I could see the doubts war inside of him. But you think I should do it, right? I wish to give you the option. I do not think you will lose anything if we leave here right now, other than the chance to remember it all again. Had I not been so terrified of everything else that was occurring, I'd likely be halfway out of this room. But if Seer decided that this was something I needed, then I chose to trust him. Even more than that, truthfully, it would drive me to insanity if I could never recover my lost memories. He explained why everything was so fuzzy to me. Why, no matter what, I would encounter block after block. No, Seer was right to bring me here. Is it better to not remember everything all at once? It will pain you too greatly. I considered a little longer, although I knew we were pressed for time. We had to do it now, or why only today? Seer, you said that you wouldn't be able to do this after today. Why? What's gonna happen to you? The sheets rustled as I jerked up and seized his soft hands in mine.
Sair, please tell me. Are you going to die?
Wow, okay. It's Sire, apparently? This entire time, I'm just thinking he was pronounced as Sayer, but apparently it's Sire. But dang. Crying wouldn't do anyone any favors, so I blinked back tears as best as I could. There had to be something I could do. Anything. I couldn't let him die for me. Maybe if I knocked him out, I could run. I do not think that I will die. Really? Do you promise? Yes. He pulled back my hands and gently kissed my fingers. However, I may be unable to use some of my powers from today onwards. In case that is true, I'd like to do this now, so please do not fret. Lay down for me and close your eyes. I will be as gentle as I can. I don't want you to lose your powers either, Sire. It is all right. Power comes with its own burdens. If I do lose them, I think I shall feel much lighter. Now, we must hurry. There will be trouble afoot if we do not return soon. When I finally closed my eyes, I felt the softest flutter of his lips against my forehead. Forgive me if this pains you. He pressed a palm to my forehead, and by the time I exhaled, I had finally had my first dream in this world. No, it was a nightmare. Sire? Sire? At this point, I might just be pronouncing it Sire at this point. I'm too used to it. Sire held Aina in his arms, careful to not jostle her a single whit. His slender fingers adorned her frame with tenderness, even as he flew through the halls of the building that became suffocating.
Our trial is to begin shortly, and you decided to go on a field trip. What on earth was occurring in that daft brain of yours? And why is she like that?
Has she done something to... I have decided to return to her what I had borrowed. Her memories. Sire? He barked at the angel, but Sire did not flinch once. For all his usual cowardice of Aries, he had taken on a different aura. So sure of himself that no one could change his mind. Perhaps that was why he felt such camaraderie with the girl sleeping in his arms. Her features twisted, small grunts escaping her lips, and sweat gathered on her neck. She had finally begun to dream again. The transfer had been a success then. How he had ached to give her a better gift than one that returned the thorns to her heart. I did not make that decision with a light heart, Aries came, but all is well. We returned in a timely fashion. Came clicked his tongue dismissively and pinched the bridge of his nose. All is well, my Ars. All is going to hell. We need to go. Now.
She's still unconscious.
I suppose that benefits us. She's not to attend the trial after all. At least it can keep her from arguing about it. What? Why can't she come with us? Isn't this related to her? Surely they could let her speak in defense of herself? She has not yet earned that right. Do not look at me that way. I am but the messenger. As she is our charge, the crime is ours to answer for. You all know how this works. I will handle this. I have put us into this situation. It wasn't your intention, sire. But I am still the cause, no? He gently laid her down on the couch once more and slid the pillow underneath her head. With the utmost tenderness, he brushed her hair away from her face and admired her features as though memorizing them yet again. When the time comes, do not argue against me. Do not stop me. You aren't thinking of... Sire, enough. Let us go. Where is Lilia? She should be with Aina while we're gone. Sayre's resolve was absolute and melancholic, but powerful. Came and Sayre led the group in silence to meet their judgments, while the woman responsible for their predicament slept in distress. Memories of my death swirled repetitively in my head, flashes and flashes, until finally they started to form a solid memory. I relived the swing of an axe, just like it was a page in a book. And, finally, I saw what came after. My soul silvered quickly from my body. My head, however, was not as fortunate. How terrifying. The guard that had been my friend, my final escort, sat on the ground near my corpse. He was shaking. Every inch of his body was trembling. Please look away. Don't do this to yourself. My words, of course, fell on deaf ears. Despite this memory being a nightmare of my own creation, I had no power. At least I could recognize that it was a nightmare. It was, right? Everything felt so real that I started to doubt myself. Real? Not real. Real? Time crawled. The people dispersed, satisfied with the show of gore for the day. The executioner departed, and the task of ridding my body fell to my friend. He was but a boy of 17? 18? It was wrong. It was all wrong. I had accepted a gruesome end to allow Felix a peaceful path to justice. But I realize now that I threw away my life so shamefully, so disgraced, for an ending of violent retribution anyway. I was angry. At myself. At him. But, most of all, at the world for letting such atrocities happen and to have forced our hand this way. It began to rain. The blood wouldn't wash away. The road was stained with crimson. The sky grew dark, and the clouds became grey, perhaps to clean my blood off the ground below. Then, with the first clap of thunder, I heard an unearthly wail that sent ice-cold chills up my spine and all the way down to my fingertips. Felix? I woke up before I could see his face. God damn it! I jolted awake to find, to my complete and utter surprise, the man that now hated me the most. I was on my back, and Came hovered over me, truly like a reaper who had come to collect my soul. If looks could kill, I would be swept into hell right about now. The trial. Has the trial happened? Oh no. Had I slept through the whole thing? It is over. What happened? Later. You wished to see the Hall of Memories, right? I was smart enough to recognize this as an order and not an invitation. Was that a shortcut to hell? Was he going to toss me into the pit himself? Came. I just realized that Lilia was sitting by me, at my feet. This had to be a trap, but I didn't dare say no. Yes. Then come with me. Are you going to kill me? He pursed his lips, looking disappointed. Well, pardon my caution when you look like you want to eat me alive. No. As I have said, you are in no danger from me. I have neither intention nor desire of ever hurting you. And thanks to Sayre, the other risks to your existence have passed. For now. Until you act up again. Right. Well, I don't intend to. Let's hope not. Anyway, shall we? He pointed towards the door with a jerk of his head, and I sat up slowly. My head was throbbing and I felt myself slipping back down, but Came quickly caught me. For all of his vitriol, I suppose he still cared somewhere deep down. What is it that you want to show me? I think it is something you need to see for yourself. It'll make sense when you get there. Kame, what are you up to? Never you mind, Lilia. So rude. Aina, will you be okay? I'm fine. It was such a pathetic lie that Lilia didn't even bother to argue. I'll let the others know, she whispered to me as Kame dragged me out of the room. We passed none of the others. I worried about what had happened to them, but Kame gave no indication that he would be informing me what happened. The office itself had been full of chatter until we had entered. Voices fell into hushed whispers, and I knew that we were the topic of their conversation. They like to talk a lot, huh? I suppose they have good reason to. Where are the others? What has happened? What does Sire do? Later. You will find out soon. Anxiety surged inside me yet again. Ooh.
Well, here we are. Beautiful, is it not?
He gestured an arm outwards, showing off the scenery. Of course, the novelty wears off on those that must work here the most. It was wondrous, but in an almost frightening way, an eerie beauty. It was a maze I could get lost in all too easily, like the room itself could devour me whole. And Kame. There was something scary about his demeanor as well. His smile made me feel ill and only worsened my headache. Does he intend to abandon me here? The computers in the office are synced to here, so physical visits are usually for the purpose of cleanup and organization only. Let me see which one we are looking for. I'm still not sure why we are here. Now, usually, one would use the record up over there. It projects a screen for us to watch and it's quite efficient. But I believe our purpose will be better served using a function of the room to truly replicate every last part of the scene. It is not typically used, as this space is needed for work, but no one shall be coming here today. He explained all this much like a patient school teacher, yet I found that I barely understood anything. The mechanics of the room, yes, but the why was still to be found. I am completely lost. You won't be for long. He pulled up something on his watch then, using it as a guide, and walked over to the shelves. As he searched, I looked around and took in the atmosphere of the room. I felt like it was going to swallow me up at any moment. Ah, here it is, the one I've been looking for. The reaping of the tyrant Berengar, otherwise known as Felix. My voice came out in a horrified whisper, although Kame paid no mind to it. He walked to the large device above, while holding an orb in his hand along with his watch. Why? I think you need to see this to understand. Sometimes it is easier to show than to tell, and this is one of them. Kame, I don't want to see this. Before I had any chance to either argue or agree, the room took on an entirely different form, just like how it happened in the training center, as if we had come into an entirely different world. You were unable to remember your past. You wished to learn, didn't you? What happened afterwards? Here's the answer to the end of your path, and beyond your end. I have already started to remember the moments after my death. You have you? You did not witness the consequences that came after that, I presume. The air was stifling. Where are we? In a crumbling castle. I can see that much. Why this castle, though? It belonged to your paramour. This was his final target. He stormed this castle and, like a beast, felled even the crown. But there was no one left to serve him in the end. This place faced siege after siege, and he alone survived. You can see that even the walls here have started to decay. marred by blood and destruction. What is left? Our footsteps echoed through the empty halls with not even the ghost of a servant or knight to be seen. The air itself was dead. This might have been a recreation, but it was far too immersive for me to feel any sort of detachment to it. Where the royal palace once stood tall, now lay a dilapidated crypt. How was Felix even surviving in such a lifeless halls? He waits for his death while the country burns. I fear the same will happen with you, that you will cut and destroy whatever crosses your path as long as you believe that you are in the right. How could you even think to compare us? That I could ever be that way? One thing leads to another. Do you deny that you two were cut from the same cloth? Or do you want to tell me that you weren't determined to do whatever it took to fulfill your revenge, all in the name of peace? His words burned me. Did he doubt my intentions all along? Was he right to? All I did was save your brothers from death. No, all you've ensured is that it will come to them. Had I been the one to capture them, they would be allowed to exist. They could have repented, but now they're marked for extinction due to the harm caused to you. What? It counts as further transgression to their crimes. Then I forgive them. Unfortunately, the world we live in does not allow for that. Here, actions have consequences. Someone must be held accountable. Aries begged on his knees just to spare you any punishment. He was willing to dive into hell just to protect you. We were all reprimanded. Our jobs are still on the line. But more than that, more than anything that happened to us, Seer lost his wings. He gave them up for you. What do you mean by Seer? He sacrificed his angelhood to spare you of punishment and to let the rest of us leave with but our scepter on the wrist. Oh my god. And you didn't stop him? The alternative was to let you cease existing. Of course, none of them would allow for that to happen. So you tell me, which was the best solution? To let you disappear? Or... I'm sure you would have been glad for that, wouldn't you? Aina. I clutched my head as he threw words as sharp as knives at me. My head was about to split from the pain. Too much was happening and I could barely remain on my feet. I did not bring you here to argue. Come. He seized my hand himself and led us down more hallways, more paths that I could not keep track of. Until at last, we reached a throne room. There I saw Felix, slumped in the great seat. Oh, finally we actually have a look on how Felix looks like. So this is Felix. Felix's design is really nice though. Too bad he's a tyrant at this point. His face was gaunt and his regal attire was covered in blood stains all over. I reached out to him, but Kame told me to spare the effort. Felix, he's... I wanted to hold him. I didn't care about anything else. I just didn't want him to die like this. But since this is nothing but a memory, he had already passed away, hadn't he? This is just a memory. You can't do anything for him. Kame's next words confirmed my suspicions, but his following one set a new wave of fear washing over me. And you shouldn't want to. I was thankful he reminded me of that fact, because when a second Kame appeared, I was just about lost myself. I was already dealing with one, and that seemed to be more than plenty. Why is there another you? Because I was the one in charge of this case.
Are you here to kill me? Never seen you before.
Ooh. I jolted as he spoke. I didn't think I'd be hearing his voice again. Felix lazily pointed the sword at the other Kame, who snorted in response.
My, put some life into it. Whatever you have left of it anyway. Is this how you finally wish to go?
How pathetic. Felix waved his sword once more, pointing it closer to the younger Reaper's throat.
Be gone.
I fancy a duel.
You waste my time. If you desire death, then stare us both sometime and allow me to take your head quickly.
Beheading people so easily. I held my neck again, feeling a phantom twinge of pain at the thought. Felix slashed out his sword, but Kame sidestepped it all too easily. In return, he brought out his own side, his smile never leaving his place. But I knew Kame better now, and I could tell that behind that smile were eyes full of disdain and anger. Felix was a scar upon history to be eliminated, and Kame was playing with his food. And oh my, another round of slots for you. Right on my screen. It's such an important moment. That's crazy. If he is not dead yet, why are you here? You'll see. I didn't like the sound of that. Felix took Kame's blade as an actual challenge, and he threw himself up to strike back. I flinched as they parried each other's blows. My fingernails were digging deep into my palms, and I started to lose the feeling in my knees. Are you proud of yourself for all that you've done?
Pride has never driven me. Not once.
Then, it was for your beloved? Beloved, did he mean me?
What do you know of her?
I know that she was wrong. I also know that this conquest of yours stems from some shitty desire for revenge. Felix growled and slammed Kame against the wall with his sword to the Reaper's neck. He was quite impressive in combat, even in his dying moments. His strength had always been inhuman. I know that your lover rots away waiting for a man that she will never see again. She begged us to save your soul. A pretty thing like her deserved better than you.
You're lying.
His eyes were twitching madly, and he drew shuddering breaths as his knees struggled to keep steady. It tore me apart to see him come undone. My head began to spin again, and I clutched at my head, praying the throbbing would cease. Why? Should I bring Aina here myself? I have met her. She's lovely. I can perhaps see why you've burned down the damn world for her. Give me a good match, and I will take you to her. We can be together in hell. She wouldn't be in hell. She would be someplace better. Their blades clashed over and over. Sparks flew. Kame's supernatural scythe against Felix's mortal-made sword. Even on the verge of death, Felix fought impressively. He matched blow for blow with Kame, until at last his blade betrayed him too. He skidded across the floor and landed just a foot away from me. I shoved past Kame and knelt down. It went against all reason, but I still put my arms around him. It was a little more corporal than holding a phantom. He was nothing but a memory, a recreation. He felt like a doll. There was no warmth like when I held him. A stark reminder that he was fake, like the spirits I have felt in the training center. But all our pain was real. You fought well. Ashamed your talents were squandered like so. Let it finally end. Let me see her. With a swift slice of Kame's blade, I witnessed my Felix's head fall to the floor right in front of me. It was like every fiber of my heart tore apart, piece by piece, until there was nothing left in its place.
You killed him.
I whispered, my eyes trained on the head before me. Reapers can also be the force to take a life away when absolutely necessary. I carried out the execution of the tyrant of Berengar, as unworthy of my blade as he was. This is what happens when our actions go unchecked. Do you understand now? I was beyond listening. Everything overwhelmed me, and my eyes were blinded by my tears. There was a sudden light. We, perhaps, were returning to the hall where we were in before. The execution had finished, after all. But I couldn't tell. I'll be bothered to comprehend. My body was wrecked with shaking sobs. I knew he had died. I knew he had been alone. But seeing him surrounded in nothing but darkness and crumbled walls, without a friend in sight, I, at least, had one person who didn't loathe me in the end, and he had absolutely no one. All he wanted was to be with me again. We both died miserably. I should have never left him. Aina. I felt a pair of arms wrapped around me from behind, and I failed in panic. It was too much. Everything was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. I was squirming. I didn't want Came anywhere near me. I wanted nothing to do with him. Aina. Are you okay? Are you safe? What happened to you? He ran over and immediately cupped my head in his hands, panic in his eyes as he examined me from head to toe. While I was uninjured, his eyes quivered once when they read mine. I suppose he could understand all the heartbreak I could no longer contain. Aries, I heard from Lilia that Kames probably... Yes, he did. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Aina, come here. Zafan reached out his arms towards me and I surrendered myself over to him. I wanted to be a little weak right now, just close my eyes and forget everything. The guilt was eating me alive and I wished I could return to sleep.
We'll beat up Came together later.
He clutched my head to his chest. His large hand cupped the back of my head as his fingers stroked through my hair. Like a lifesaver, his touch kept me grounded and I found myself breathing just a little easier. As if he was shielding me, he kept me locked against them while I felt his head whip up to aim his sights at Came. Throwing back one of the worst things to happen to her right in her face. I knew you were a cold man, but you've gone too far. She's your friend. She didn't deserve... This wasn't an act of revenge. He sighed heavily, as if burdened by this whole ordeal. Or was it because he found no one supporting his misdeed? And do not act as if you, too, are not upset. You especially, Zafan. What happened to Sayer is... I know. You don't need to tell me. He leveled his voice to be equally harsh and cold, leaving Came without a response. Yeah, I'm upset. I'm mad too. Oh. I fidgeted against him, but he kept me secure, and his thumb stroked between my shoulder blades. I'm not an asshole though. Everything was out of our control. I think we're all a bit in the wrong here. But I'll never retaliate like this, no matter how upset I was. Maybe you don't understand what it's like having to relive your worst memories. From now on, stay away from her. I heard a shuddering breath, disguised as a sigh, escape from Came. What did it matter if he could see me or not? His feelings were made perfectly clear, and mine were just as mutual. I meant no harm. Funny way of showing it. Came tried to speak once again, but Zafan ignored him entirely, instead choosing to look towards me with a smile that did not quite reach his eyes. Come on. Val and Sarah are waiting for us in the car. I was horrified to see what had become of Sayer. He still smiled when he saw me, but could feel my frayed sanity about to become undone. Hold it together, for his sake. Zafan had put a hand on my shoulder and squeezed it. Sayer was sitting between us. Zafan fussed over him while my angel had turned towards me. How are you? I heard... What happened? I'm fine. How is your wound? Has it stopped? Yes, I'm fine. We are talking about Aina now. You're both hurt, but sire, I'll be okay. Injuries of the heart can be just as severe. Don't tell me you're fine with this? Why not? It is... freedom, in a way. Zafan looked away, his face in pain. How could you say that? Because I meant it. Sire, I'm sorry, Zafan, but it's true. You mourn for something that is not yours. You... Hey. I put my hand on Zafan's arm. He didn't shake it off. Instead, he closed his eyes and took a long inhale. It was quiet until we had returned home. Zafan promised to come back quickly after making sure Sayer was safe at home. Aries stayed behind with me, even though I insisted that I didn't need him and that the more people attended to Sayer, the better it would be. I fell asleep waiting for him, as much as I was afraid to slumber, My eyelids slammed shut eventually, and I was trapped in another nightmare. I faced my execution again, and again. Each time, it felt like my throat was set on fire, and I wanted to scream, but I couldn't because there was nothing to scream out of. Again, and again, I was paralyzed within the confines of my own mind. Real or not real, it was impossible to know. It was always followed by the most dreaded scene, the walk into the hall of memories. The desire to run away was strong, but my feet were bolted to the ground. Then, he was in my arms again. He was cold. Kaim's blade swung again. His head fell again. Still, I couldn't do anything. I woke up screaming, finally free of the cycle, and found myself nestled in warmth. It wasn't cold anymore. Hey, it's me, Safan. Oh, it's Safan. While my eyes had yet to settle, I registered that Safan was beside me and holding me tightly once more. A bloodhead had to be Aries stood in the doorway before returning to my living room. Saf, you're back? I said I'd come back, didn't I? I'll have to come and go to watch over Sayer. He's always been my brother. Of course, Safan. You should go back right now. But I can't leave you alone right now. Even if you're mad at me? Even so, are you comfortable with me holding you? Do you want me to let go? I just realized how close we were. Tangled together as he probably frantically tried to comfort me, we were in a compromising position. But I didn't care for propriety right now. I don't want you to let go, at least for a little bit. You need rest, right? Sleep with me until you have to go back to Sire. Alright, yes. He suddenly felt warmer, and his embrace around me tightened. I tucked my head under his chin, as his other hand slid down my back to secure me. Sleep well. I can't make your pain go away, but I'll be here when you need it for it to be eased. Even if it's just a little bit, I want to make you feel better. Thank you, Safan. Truly. Even if you are mad at me. Always. I'm always yours, Mina. Mad, sad, happy, I'll still come around in the end. I felt him sigh against my hair, and then hold his breath before his lips brushed softly against the top of my head to give me the gentlest kiss I've ever received. Good night, sweetheart. That's surprising. And also really sudden. Right now, I'm doing some theory thinking in my mind. I have a feeling that Aries is someone we actually know. Is Aries actually like Felix or something? But I don't think so. I don't know why. A part of me feels like someone is related to someone at this point. It's hard to put into words at this point. Everyone must have something to do with her. Back when she was alive at least. Or maybe after she's gone. And also the introduction of a random kiss is really random. And now they're doing a flashback. I don't know if this flashback is gonna be like from Kaim, not Kaim, Zafan's point of view? Or is it from her point of view? I'm guessing maybe Zafan actually, since I think majority of the options I've taken so far are led towards a Zafan. Anyway, 300 years ago, rust permeated the air. Purification was beyond me these days. Oh, purification! Oh no! So I guess this is Sayer's point of view, I guess? Perhaps it was the lack of energy I had since they took my wings. Perhaps it was something I was losing entirely. I held on to my fading powers to do what was necessary. Reduced bloodshed, reduced mortality. I saved my healing for human soldiers at death's door, and told myself to look the other way if they were particularly evil. So I did. This war was an unscripted disaster upon the world, wrought by my own poor sense. Turn this purge to our favor. Let a few sinners die out. That's it. So I did. The smells of welding had never sickened me before. I used to be able to work at my station all day, happy to create and invent. Now, watching the blacksmiths in the war camp, I discovered what nausea was. When I lost my wings and hurled my guts out, no one had a name for it. But wait, that can't be right. Seir only just lost his wings, and this is 300 years ago. So someone else here is also used to be an angel? Maybe? Aries? When I lost my wings and hurled my guts out, no one had a name for it. This Leon person had caught me ill in the bush and gave me some tea to quell this nausea. He was a good lad. It was a shame that I had to make his job hard. He never seemed to mind whatever I did, though. Whenever I delivered captive enemies back to their side, got myself kidnapped so that Leon had to waste time on rescuing me or opening back up cut supply lines. The recent one had been my subtle rewriting of a map that trapped the troops in mud for half a day's march. I wanted to do just enough that we wouldn't lose entirely, of course, but enough that the destruction would never scar the land permanently. Unlike my wound, this one would heal in time. The lad was good. It was my fault he was stuck serving a tyrant. His blood, too, would eventually add to another slice upon my soul. Those that I could not save. Those that I would not be able to save. Because of him. Because of her. Present day. Oh! Heaven's Gates. Oh. I inhaled a smoke from the roaring fire, checking if it wasn't a dream this time. Having a hammer in my hands, having a forge burning for the purpose of creation and not destruction, being useful, creative. There was still so much I dreamt of doing, but most of all, I wanted to return to my old days of soul crafting. I'd been lacking in sleep since I just couldn't tear myself away from the workshop, worried that my days were all too short. It had once been my workshop, and mine alone. This hammer hadn't gained too much dust, of course. There were rare occasions where I was brought in to tune up something, set up systems, innovate, but they always ended too short. Nothing more than a carrot on a stick. And recently, I was blessed with the chance to make this a routine, but I would take anything if it meant I could prove my worth. No, I would prove my worth. Making daily reports on our comings and goings wasn't fun. No one ever liked meetings or paperwork, right? But it would help us. All of us, wouldn't it? We were lower than dog shit right now. If I had kept them off our backs by supplying them harmless stuff, then it was a good thing. As for the stick off which the carrot dangled, it would be better if I was the one controlling the information they know instead of some spy that hates us. Yeah, this was okay. I wasn't a traitorous piece of shit. It's just how things are. Yeah. This nausea, maybe some ginger ale would help. And then I'll go back to the bellows. Oh! Seir? Are you not coming for dessert at least? Oh, it is Safan then! This is Safan's point of view. Shit, I completely forgot. I like how you typed out as Fogor as well. I say Fogor too. Forgot. Fogor. 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 You Fogor again. Sorry. I'll make it up tomorrow. Promise? On my life. Salute. I bit off my glove for a moment to hastily type out an apology before getting back to work. I couldn't stop now, not when I was in the middle of a breakthrough. I would create, and create, and create. I'll make a name for myself again. And then, would it be enough for me to return? Would I be able to fly again? Could I at least feel the wind on my back once more? I'll be able to fly again one day, right? Right? He's pulled an all-nighter again. He must still be upset with me. Lilia had brought lunch back for me while I was brooding. Huh? Eating a sandwich with one hand and the other one scrawled angry Zafans on some scrap paper. He wasn't at dinner again. He usually says it's because of work, but he must still hate me. I'll hate me. I missed his laughter during our lunches, and snack breaks, and coffee breaks. Come to think of it, he always kept me well fed. Was he eating all right himself? Several months had passed since Sayre lost his wings, and he was still taking it easy. With Safan taking care of him so diligently, always working, I was beginning to forget what Safan looked like. Safan was a stalwart friend and ally, but I never missed the shadows under his eyes. I'm sure he's not. You know him. I mean, he can't be mad enough that he'll avoid you. Maybe he realized that I'm irredeemable and a problem. Lilia rolled her eyes, exhausted from my overthinking. But I noticed the shadows in Safan's gaze often darkened when looking at me, even if I was the only one to see them. They were brothers in their own right. I still didn't know so much of their history. I was a disaster to families everywhere, apparently. Just give it enough time with him. Enough about Saf. I got my own problems. She waved her watch at me, which displayed her favorite streamer, Stellar Hue. He was eating some snacks and looked quite merry about it, and my tummy grumbled in jealousy. What's wrong? He looks perfectly happy. I want to join him. Drool pulled in my mouth at the crunching sounds. I couldn't understand the appeal. This was self-flagellation to see someone else enjoy the treats that I should have. He's been streaming for 3 weeks straight! Humans are fragile, if you remember. She pointed at herself and her self-inflicted eye bags. Didn't you get those from playing your games all night? Hush! Anyway, he won't stop. I keep giving him wonder chats to tell him the rest, but he just says, thanks for the concern. It'll be, thanks for the condolences next. Except it won't, because he'll be too dead to say anything. This subathon's gonna kill him. I didn't understand much of what was said, but Lilia seemed to be more attuned to it than anyone else. How come you chose this job instead of being a streamer? The day Lilia accidentally stumbled into stasis, she demanded employment instead of demanding copious amounts of money or some other treasure of human value. Something about a job shortage? Of course, after she was granted that, she proceeded to demand copious amounts of money anyway. And something about dental? Whatever that was. Are you kidding me? This stuff is so cool! I was always in the occult, and knowing rebirths and all that are real. I can't wait to be one someday. Long time from now, of course. I can't really be one while I'm alive. And I'm planning on living a long time, thank you very much. She sighed and poked at an endless stack of folders, and they all cascaded to the floor. Even if the paperwork might kill me sooner than planned. I bent down to pick up the folders, helping her build it back up to a mountain. Was Safan really that busy after work? Or busy with work? Maybe he had to make up for Sayre's loss of time. Safan. These negative thoughts were, what? I can't pronounce words anymore. God dang it. Let's go pronounce it as cynical, but I don't think cynical is it. Cynical? Terror upon my mental well-being. We're sighing all our happiness away. This won't do. You know what we need? A team outing. I'll be back. Like a hummingbird, she flitted up from her seat and left. Our combination of clatter and vague dismay followed the storm that was Lilia. As I finished the last bite of my sandwich, Lilia returned with 2 things. Came in one hand, and his credit card in the other. Came squirmed, unable to evade Lilia's vice-like grip. Was this your idea? So, he would rather take the humorous route. I could oblige. We had only shared brief conversations, mostly about work or the others. I hadn't forgiven him yet, despite his heartfelt apologies, but I also felt guilt rise in me every time I looked at him. The same guilt I felt when I saw Safan's pain whenever he looked at Sayre's back. The early days where Sayre was confined to bed, the days where he was able to walk again with slow, shaky steps, those days forever haunted my memories and dreams alive. Maybe that's why I didn't push Kame away entirely, but it was also the reason I couldn't let him come close either. I could only tolerate self-loathing in short doses. I'll take responsibility depending on what the idea is. Let's go to a theme park. We haven't been able to take Aina anyway fun, and it's about time. She stopped yelling sorcery at everything though. And are you trying to start it back up again? She gasped, affronted, but there was no mistaking the twinkle in her eyes. Theme park? A park with a theme? Like grass? Trees? What else could there be? I racked my brain, which had been crammed with information about the modern world, mainly through Zafan and Lilia. Movies were their favorite way of educating me. They occasionally showed me other little videos on their watch. From a distance at first, of course. Could be fun. Games paying? He snatched the card from Lilia's hand and grinned, turning it from left to right to allow the black card to glint under the light. Ooh, it's a new one. I'm surrounded by greed. He shook his head, but Aries and Lilia sat down, playing the trip with more vigor than I ever seen either one handle paperwork. Zoom passes, private lounges, 5-star meals? Impressive. I hope Zafan will like it. He saw he needs a break too. Would he come along? Zafan was in the brightest of spirits as he entered the room. He was humming, even as he sat down at his desk. With the amount of work he had been doing, I expected him to walk with the gait of a wrath instead. There were 2 piles of reports on his desk. Had he not been doing them? What on earth had kept him so occupied then? All this pending work did not faze him in the slightest. He merely opened up the first folder and started typing away. Oddly, there was some soot on his nose. Had he been maintaining some machinery in stasis? He's too cheerful. He sickens me. To remedy this, Aries went over to Zafan's desk and pushed him out of his chair. Aries! He's back for all of 2 minutes and there goes Aries. He's never coming back again. I hurried over to help Zafan back up, only for Zafan to sweep out his leg and knock Aries over. There's no helping them. A fortnight passed, and with the finest of accommodations booked, we are all ready to go to this amusement park. Trip! 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 Zafan and Sayer were on either side of me, my elbows linked in theirs. Sayer had been cleared to go out and about by us, and there was no power on earth that could have held him back, even if Zafan didn't deem him fit enough to do so. Nothing but brightness and mirth filled their sunny faces, and I, too, grinned from ear to ear. Lilia was right. That was probably just what we needed to bring us back to our usual selves. Oh! A new character. The coloring design, the drawing style is slightly different here. Did they get a different artist? A shadow loomed over the two of us. I had seen this person in passing, but had no idea who they are, or who they were. Oh. Rune. Pain in the ass. She muttered this under her breath, but the angel clearly held keen hearing and glowered at her. Lilia looked at him up and down and gave a chaturine smile, eyes narrowed to slits. Even the angel face came, left eye twitched imperceptibly? Dang. Oh. We have need of you about some matters pertaining to stasis. It cannot wait. Kame's position demands of his presence when we see fit. He cannot bend to your oh my god, I can't pronounce words. Frivolity? It's the weekend. And Kame went stiff as a board. Then with a sigh, he relinquished his anger, at least in front of us. It's fine. Kame sighed as he pulled away from our group. Rune caught Zafan's eye and smiled before leaving with Kame. Instead of retorting with his usual wit, Zafan's eye trained on the ground, studying a smudge under his shoe. None of it sat right with me. Just who was he, and who were the angels to push us around like that? Oh? I still think the transition can be done a bit better, though. The transitions are a bit too sudden. Maybe they can sound like background sound effects too. Guilt-laden, we arrived with a came-shaped hole in our heart in our group. We had been so close to patching the fracture in our whatever we were, and regret tagged behind our steps as we checked in with our personal concierge. But seeing the amusement park wiped away any thought of came from my mind. Whoa. It was much taller and larger than anything I'd seen in those videos. The scent of popcorn and pretzels coaxed me like a siren song. A stroller passed by, armed with toddlers holding fluffy clowns on sticks. What are those? Cotton candy! The concierge called us over, so we'll see you in a bit. Run along, children. Enjoy your dessert. Let's get a bucket for Came to go. Right. Poor guy. The light dimmed in his eyes as we approached the vendor. The fun paid for ours and handed us each a cone while Leah took the bag that contained Kame's. He took a bit of cotton candy himself. Where's yours? Oh no, I don't want it anymore. But you were so excited. I ripped off some of mine and held it up to his mouth. Here, depriving yourself won't fill Kame's belly any faster. Come on. Stefan pouted. What? A quiz. What's with all the difficult words they're using? Acquisite? Acquisite? To a nibble. And another. Your turn. He ripped off a sizable chunk and pressed it to my lips. Sweet! So sweet. I chewed my portion happily and we shared pieces with each other. A treat shared always tasted better. Also, this is kind of weird. Is it you two are sharing an indirect kiss? She couldn't have said that any louder. Passing teenagers snickered at the two of us and I wanted to become one of the pavement. Honestly though, it's pretty difficult to be quote-unquote sharing an indirect kiss with just cotton candy, especially if you guys are just tearing it apart. It's a bit different. They should have done that with like bottled drinks instead. Or like a slushy drink with a straw. That would make more sense, to be honest. Well, that's not good. Yeah. It should be a direct kiss instead. These two were absolutely hopeless. As our quartet walked to our first ride, something called a Galaxy Mountain, I continued taking turns feeding him, and in return he fed me too. No fair, I want Aina to feed me. Galaxy Mountain. That sounds lovely indeed. Oh my god. Isn't Galaxy Mountain like a roller coaster? You ready for your first ride ever? It's gonna be awesome. You won't want to get off. I can't wait.
Mommy, is this ride scary?
You're a brave girl, aren't you?
Yeah!
Then let's give it a go! Huh? What does having to be brave have to do with it? Then again, children were easily frightened. Earlier, I witnessed one child screaming his head off at a person in a cat costume. Although, frankly speaking, it terrified me as well. That should have been my warning bell. I was going to die. Stefan! Lilia! I'm gonna kill you! Ah! Maybe this was a bad idea. If anyone asks, you suggested it. Oh! First CG. Nice! Oh, so she has a different hairstyle here. Oh, that's not it. How do I hide this? How do I hide this box again? No, that's not it. It's not the escape key, it's not the right click. There should be a proper key for me to hide the text box, but like, you can definitely tell that this is a work in progress game. If they tell me this is the final result, the final product, honestly, I would be disappointed because it is pretty rough on the edges and it does not match the quote unquote main sprites. But if it's done as like a rough gauge, this would be really nice. Like so far, you can tell the progression. It just needs to be cleaned off a bit more. You know, all these loose lines and whatnot. Though I don't know if they're purposely leaving it in because, you know, Western standards different from Japanese standards. And Japanese games have a pretty high standard for some of them as well, since it's produced by a company. Would have been great as well if they added in like sound effects in the background for like, you know, since they are in an amusement park. I was expecting to hear some like chattering in the background, like happy noises, like happy children just kind of laughing, running around. And maybe the occasional just like roller coaster noises or people just screaming. It would have been a very nice touch. She's still not speaking. Words were beyond my ken. My ken? I didn't think my throat even worked anymore, not after screaming my head off throughout the ride. Each swallow pained me. Aries and Velafar found us once we exited the ride. At least I think we exited. But it's still spinning. And spinning. I'm surprised she's even walking. Walking? I was trudging through a swamp. The world was doubled. The clouds were purple now. My left foot crossed my right, I think. Or is it the other way around? Aina? Oh dear. He squeezed my hand and Aries had his arm around my shoulders to support me. Probably. One of these limbs belonged to someone else. Anyway. Every smell that I enjoyed upon entrance was now a cruel twist of a knife into my sanity. Oh. I held my stomach to keep it from retching. What is wrong with you two? We looked away for a few minutes and you two take on a roller coaster? How could you possibly have thought this to be a good idea? Zafan and Lilia were walking behind the group in a contrite manner. It was Lilia's idea. I shall not be framed like this. Shut up, both of you. She's never going to go outside again. Someone pressed a cup of cold water into my hand, and after chugging it down, I slowly started to remember who I was and where I am. That convinced me to write this dev contraption called a roller coaster. I did not coast one bit. There was no coasting involved, only suffering. Velafar and Aries probably didn't think we had to make use of this place so quickly. Or have to haul me here, for that matter. Seir had been merry to go on the ride, laughing his head off and wearing a dreamy smile until I fell over. We didn't consider him an accomplice, though. He said nothing to persuade me to ride, being too busy with the cotton candy to have said any. All of you are deeply unwell. I managed to say that at least. At last. I aged 100 years in the last... however much time had passed since I first had the cotton candy. It took much persuasion, many promises, and even more apologies, but I did eventually pry myself away from the safety of the lounge. Safan had already been unusually quiet, and even after I relented and assured both of him and Lilia that I didn't hate them, I expected him to be rattling off about everything we had yet to discover alongside Lilia. Okay, let's do this right. You love princesses. I have many qualms about royalty, actually. Sore subject, Lilia. Oh. The ride looks fun, and fairy tale princesses can't do much. If they piss you off too much, we'll fight them. I looked at Safan, hoping for his input, but he'd been lost in his thoughts. To satisfy my suspicions, Velafar himself rode the ride first and reported it to be entirely harmless. He was the only person here I wholly trusted, and so I let myself enjoy the day once more. A few rides had us zip around and others tossed me in manageable amounts. The snacks we shared could have filled the buffet. We were effervescent mostly, apart from the storm cloud that didn't stop following Stefan around. It was always the brightest ray of sunshine in our family. A drop in his energy didn't go unmissed. Not by me, at least. I pulled him to the side, tugging his sleeve. What you need? Saf? I'm not upset with you. Hmm? Oh yeah, I know. I stared at him in hopes of knowing more. You're a sweet girl. He playfully tapped both my cheeks and then went back to quietly munching a pretzel, one of the snacks I had bought and gotten tired of after a few bites. How about we try that ride? Yeah, it's a safe one, promise. He held up his hand, swearing up and down. I believe you. He breezed us along into the cutest ride of the park. How could it not be harmless? There are adorable childlike dolls all around, holding hands. What kind of ride has that? Dolls holding hands. Merry-go-round? Teacup? How bad could it be? Not at all. Oh, this kind. Is this a small world? And we hold our hands and go round and round the world. Oh, how delightful. Look at him go. How cute. I knew you'd like it. Cute, right? Some time passed, and then more time passed. The scenes were charming, quaint, yet repetitive, like the song playing. My ears prickled with every inch that this boat moved forward. I forgot how long this ride was. He scratched at the back of his neck, apology in his eyes. But that's not the only thing bothering you, is it? You seemed a bit off all day. Well, I did traumatize you. I had worse, and I know that's not it. I nudged him with my knee, and he finally gave in. You caught me. I feel awful about Kame. Why? It's not your fault. His eyes shifted to me, then back to one of those singing dolls. It had been off-kilter and kept crashing into a wall. Wonder if I could sneak off and fix that real quick. He muttered to himself as the boat swayed back and forth. Some more silence passed, and while I was still looking at the doll, he continued. I might have been talking about our plans. Maybe the angels heard and thought we were slacking off too much. Stefan, that's not your fault. I put my hand on his knee, squeezing softly. He'd be here right now if I didn't say anything. It could just be a coincidence. Stefan shrugged it off and forced his usual grin back. He took my hand off his knee and clasped it tightly instead, swinging it to and fro. Guess he's lucky he's not here. Doesn't have to endure torture. There was so much more I wanted to ask, but just as he said the word torture, Aries and Sierra's boat came out of the latest tunnel and bumped into the back of our boat. I'd never seen Aries dispel such a menacing aura. A few of the dolls stuttered in place, affected by his murderous intent. I'm gonna effing kill you, you know that, right? We go round and round, round and round, round and round the world. As Sierra clapped merrily along, Stefan sighed and leaned his head into my shoulder. It had been so long since he had last done that, my heart leapt. You'll save me, right? Don't you dare. Lilia and Velafar were in the boat in front of us. Velafar was bent over, head grasped in his hands, muttering some sort of oaths to get him through. Lilia too had been zoned out for so long that I thought she had some kind of mental breakdown. I could be your knight in shining armor, although you have also done me wrong. Aries and I do have just caused a neck punishment, as do the two ahead of us. Have some mercy for this guy. Don't worry, Sirius on your side apparently. Siri kept clapping along until Aries hit him in the back of the head. Ouch. You have no whimsy in your heart. I have half a mind to knock you over. Don't. The gears will grind him up and then we'll have to explain just how he survived that. Gears? Grind? Sorcery. To make things worse, the ride had broken down just before Aries and Sierra could get off the platform. Stefan knew to make a quick exit, and the rest of us loitered around while he had vanished. Even after Aries and Sierra had somehow vanished then and appeared with an ice cream bar in each hand, Stefan still was missing. Where did he go? Where did Stefan go? Did he run away? That won't stop me from finding oh my god, what? That won't stop me from finding an empty room, tying him to a chair, and playing that effing music, that song until the batteries ran out. I would have ran away too, given that fate. At least my execution was carried out quickly. On cue, my favorite red-headed bobbed through the crowds, panting in triumph, holding a massive bag. What do you have there? A present. For me? For me? Fine, for scaring you and, just for talking to him? My heart melted faster than Sierra's 10th ice cream bar. Stefan, you didn't have to. He slid it out of the bag and presented it to me with a flourish. A massive teddy bear of sorts, except it had fluffy wings and an eye patch. White, with red clothing. Like me! An eye patch like yours. Now I'll be reminded of you all the time. How horrifying. Thank you, Stefan. I hugged him tightly, and he nestled his head against mine. Your smile is all the thanks I need. I can buy you one too, Aina. I appreciate it, Sarah, but I'm happy with this. Alright, mushy shit aside, what do we want to do? Stick around for the evening? Is there anything else we want to do or see? Aries fished a comically large map out of his pocket, and it rustled in the wind. There are so many offerings and such little text. How could anyone see it all? A dreamland designed to trap you forever. Times really have changed. My sister could have explored this park for days on end. Felix would have probably fared better on that rolling coast thing. And Aries tapped my head with a rolled up map. There's a waterworks show tonight and a fireworks show at the same time. Which one do you want to see? Unless you'd rather go home? Perhaps he mistook my reminiscing for weariness, but it was a good exit. I wanted to ease Stefan's guilt, and we did have a fun-filled day after all. How about we see it another time, all of us together? They both sound lovely. I think it would be better if Kame was with us. You sure? It's a nice show, and you should enjoy it if you want to. I'm sure. Besides, it's been enough sorcery for one day. Let's go home. Again, the transition's a bit too fast here. They should have done a small fade to black, and then slowly fade back. It would help with the music as well. And after seeing Lilia back home, we returned to our apartment laden with gifts. Lilia selected an assortment of snacks for Kame and a few as a makeup present for me. Some had already been opened and pillaged, but the thought was sweet nonetheless. Once out of public eye, Aries chewed Stefan out all the way to Kame's threshold. Did you have a good time, Aina? Very much. That's so much more to see. She's kind. She insisted she experienced the night entertainment only if you're there too. That is too generous of you, but I wouldn't want to miss the look in your eyes. Did you have too much to do? Menial tasks. Kame shrugged. Someone had a grudge against me, I suppose. That's weird. Who'd you piss off? I did have something to cheer me up. This photo appeared on my account. Care to explain why you decided to terrorize Aina? Kame held up his watch and everyone quickly turned around, their bodies shaking with laughter. No. No! It can't be! I was aghast. Who took a photo of my most humiliating moment? How do you have this picture? What is the meaning of the sorcery? How dare you guys laugh at my suffering? Unable to hide their chuckles anymore, the guys scoffed and chortled, Schadenfreude at its finest. I had half a mind to keep Kaim's gifts from him, but in the end I doled out his share of the theme park treats. How wonderful indeed. A treasured photo. And treats too? It must have been a fine day after all. Kaim served out our usual drinks. Looks like Stefan is in the most need of it. He had an extra scoop of ice to his glass and delivered it to Stefan, who was slouched in one of the couches, lies lost in another realm. Why are you sweating? I let you live, didn't I? Are you okay, Stefan? Sweat beaded at Stefan's brow. then dripped down to the slope of his nose. Hey, Safan? Are you alright? Yeah. Shit. He wiped the back of his hand against his brow. More sweat trickled down like streams down his jawbone. Huh. That's weird timing. Timing? Did he expect this? Is it that? Think so. He slammed the drink back, wincing as he crunched some ice between his teeth and stood up. Safan reeled and then sluggishly clambered for the door. But does it not only happen? No. Not feeling great. Got a dip. Sorry. Safan shouldered the door open and disappeared. Do you know what's wrong? Safan gets a crazy fever once or twice a year. Reapers can fall ill? I looked down at my own body. It was infallible, save for a few exceptions. I felt queasy earlier, but it was my own fear more than nausea. Even that disappeared quickly. Matters of the heart still ailed me in this form, though. He does! It's a certain condition he has. Do not fret. It is not fatal. It fades away after about a week. But what is it? I looked around and Aries shrugged. Do not worry about it. He wouldn't want you to. If he tells you, then you'll know. But we are not at liberty to say. Trust us, we will not lie to you about something serious. He must be suffering a lot. Let's make him some soup and get him bread. They stilled. He usually does not wish to see us when this happens. Sierra spoke so haltingly, so carefully, that he gave me pause. It was rare when he washed his words. Then I'll go. He doesn't starve, does he? How does he take care of himself? We leave parcels for him, but they usually all pile up until he recovers. Then we'll just break in. Aina, whether it is, you or us, I do not think the result will change. I couldn't just let him rot for a week. Did he have the plague? Even that wouldn't stop me. A quick courtesy call, and then I'll be out of his hair. Promise. Aries, help Seer make some soup. Isn't it enough I left him all alive? Fine. I followed both of them to the kitchen to assist, just in case Aries decided to set Seer on fire. Again, with a sudden jump in background. It's a bit too fast. Kame and Velafor had a hand in preparing an assortment of dishes in conjunction with our soup. From breads to rice, kebabs and curries, we had anything he could possibly crave. Okay. Sierra even included homemade bubble tea upon my suggestion, and I baked some cookies. Now we only had to deliver them to the recipient. All of us huddled behind Kame, waiting for him to put his magic into action. He gave a withering sigh. This will not work. Sure it will! Isn't this your job? Aries grinned, looking more forward to breaking in than providing Safan any aid. My job is to dispel illusions and other things, unweaving and untangling, not breaking locks like a petty thief. We nudged Kame towards the door, and he shrugged us both off. Fine. He held up his palms, and the door opened. Ooh, fancy place he has here. It worked! Did you think I couldn't detect you guys trying to break in? I opened it for you. We shuffled in single file, finding Safan on the couch with his arm flung over his eyes. My system alerted me the second you were on my doorstep. Was your idea? Yeah, the rest of you? Sierra was attempting to peek around Velafor and Aries, but Kame and ushered them out at a very slow pace. Out! They handed the parcels of food to me one by one, and I showed myself inside. How are you feeling, Saf? Like hell. Usually I'm curled up in a corner waiting to die. I actually was curled up waiting to die. His entire body shuddered as he breathed, as if trying to find a comfortable spot on a lumpy mattress. But there's no stopping a force like you, Aina. He closed his eyes and rubbed his brow as sweat continued to bead over. His band was loose over his eyes. His eye, hazardly tied before I barged on in. Did whatever happened to his eye have to do with this? Always crashing your way through any barrier. With each syllable, the joviality had been dying down. Hey, you opened door. Never said the barriers didn't know up to you. Reluctant. He winced, his chest heaving more with every word, reluctant or otherwise. You need to eat. I'm still full from the theme park. I ignored him and served him some soup in a bowl. Open. It's not gonna help. I took the chance to sneak the spoon between his lips, taking care to not jam it and make him choke instead. Glad me as he may, he still accepted it. Finding it to his taste, he took the bowl and swallowed the rest of it down. I touched his forehead. A little color returned his cheeks, but he remained clammy. What makes you sick like this? Is that why you've been avoiding me? All of us? Have you been feeling ill this entire time? His eyebrows shot upwards, not expecting my second question. I didn't mean to blurt it out like that either. I am so effed up right now. He had the chills from head to toe. You're shaking. I rummaged around for a clean dish towel, soaked it, and placed the rolled up cloth on his forehead. He groaned, and I clasped it against him like a lifeline. I only let you in so I could tell you to leave and not come back until I say so. It's this fever. It comes and goes. I can't explain it, so don't ask. He kept pulling his fingers through his hair, fingers twitching as if he was going to pluck the strands right off his scalp. If it was just being sick, then fine, whatever. He threw his hands up in the air, then dragged his palms down his face. Who I am right now is the worst of me. Right now is when I feel the most terrible things, think the most terrible things. Frankly, right now I cannot tolerate you. I don't want to look at you. I want to toss you out my home, and I am close to doing that. Fair enough. Even with Felix, it took years for him to let me in when he was in one of his moods. I, on the other hand, needed pampering, someone to pull me out of my worst bouts. It took courage as a fun to admit things that even I didn't let myself admit to myself. I would listen, and then I would take my leave. I hate myself. I hate everyone. I think that I'm better than all of you. I think I deserve better. His teeth grounded so tightly I feared that his jaw would shatter. His biting back worse words, crueler ones, one that would ward me away for good. Wow. So for your sake, kindly get the F out of my home. I wasn't rattled. The same pit of hatred and despair was something I too had circled around in. The worst moments and passing thoughts I was too ashamed to ever admit. I'm not rational right now, Aina. For F's sake, it isn't about you, okay? And everything is. He sucked the air through his teeth at the moment that spilled out. Shit, sorry. He gesticulated in a way that said, well, this is what I mean. There's a reason I keep everyone away from me when this happens. I'm boiling not only physically but mentally too. Thanks for the soup, but get out. I didn't want to leave him in this state, full of self-loathing and anger, but I have no choice. Take care, Stefan. Let us know if you need anything. Cool, go. I hurried and left the rest of the food on the table, then scrambled out of his apartment before he threw any barbs he'd forever regret throwing. There had to be something that could help him. I could leave it under his door, or he could have it on hand for the next time he felt this way. Heaven had to have some remedy, didn't he? Maybe something new or recent that others didn't know of yet. Even though I'm sure the angels are loath to go out of their way to help our kind. Where else could I find any? I had to try at least. Asking never hurt anyone. And again, the sudden swap is too fast. Give me some transitions! Transitions! I hurried up here in the name of errands, not wanting to drag any of the others into trouble in case I was scolded for my arrival. What business do you have here? My friend is ill, and I need to ask if there's any medicine that can help him. You ought to leave. Why? Aren't you that troublemaker? My reputation preceded me. Who else could help outside of heaven, Us reapers have nothing in our stores, you see, and... Let her pass. I whipped around. It was the annoying angel from before. I did not know that you would be coming here. What was he? Omniscient? Why would you even know? I gasped. He had to have masterminded this. Stefan's sick. Did you do something to him? Such accusations are ill-befitting of... Actually, they are quite befitting. He shook his head. I leaned up on my tiptoes, feeling very small before him. You are as ill-mannered and uncouth as the rest of them. A pity, but expected. Come, follow me, and do have the decency to be thankful about it. I didn't have anything yet to thank him about, but in fact, I was going to use the guard's hubris against him to walk my way in. But this was a Safan, and I couldn't bite the hand that I hoped would feed me. Well, feed him. Thank you. I can't stand seeing Safan in pain. In pain? Whatever for? Ah. Yes, even Seer's healing magic couldn't do anything for him. He had asked me the same question once, centuries ago, but equally to no avail. What? This had been happening for so long? I looked at him, trying to keep the beseeching out of my countenance, but his smugness radiated off in waves. You didn't know he lost his angelhood that long ago? He was an angel? Oh, you didn't know? No one told you? It was relishing my ignorance, and heat rose to my cheeks. It wasn't like it was my secret to know. Well, I don't like to pry into other people's affairs. Even more heat flooded me as I spouted a bull-faced lie, considering where I was and what I was doing. But everyone knows, I suppose. Everyone but you. You really haven't taken the time to learn about the people around you, where you work, and where you are. Nosy, but for all the wrong purposes. Regardless, I had no idea that the fever grips him even now. No one knows why, and apparently there's no way to mitigate it either. But surely, no one's ever looked into it. There's no need. It's the natural order of punishment. Why was he punished? Regret chased the words I blurted out. Triumph rang in the angel's eyes as he looked me over. I suppose I should let him have the liberty of telling you that much. After revealing up all his other secrets? It was not a secret, but in exchange, tell him to bring you to his workshop. He can tell you where, just why, or why he lost his precious wings. Workshop? Oh yes, he's been toiling desperately day and night to earn them back. Why was Rune giving me all this information freely? Angels could not have ill intent, but I couldn't shake off the sensation that it was a scheme, a web for us to untangle. I shall perhaps give you one hint as to why he lost all that he held dear. Felix Vextalion, the source of all his problems. I blanched and Rune grinned. He had to be an exception to the no bad angel rule. Farewell. Fare thee well, troublemaker. There is nothing to be done. Wait! What's his favorite drink from here? I want to take something he loves to take off the edge, or at least have it waiting for when he recovers. How should I know if you don't? I didn't know. Kim always brewed him a variety of drinks, experimenting with this and that. Sarah often tried them too, and Zafan always finished all of his leftovers. You're right. I should go home. And truly get to know Zafan. Once he recovered, of course. An angel. If Felix was the reason he lost his wings, then so was I. To be continued! Is this the end? It is the end for it. Okay. That's interesting. So basically for, let me see the extras. Because if I'm not wrong, I've only gotten one CG art and it's for, Zafan here. So I'm guessing these are all in order since I think there are like 6 of them, right? Now I can finally see the picture in its full glory. But like, since this game is still in like a work in progress, I will say that so far it is not too bad. There are definitely a lot of changes that could be done. A lot of fixes that could be made. Like, I don't know. First, see, this CG art here is pretty nice. But it definitely has to be cleaned up more to have a much professional look to it. If you're trying to really make it stand out, because the sprite itself is very pretty. This will be so much prettier as well if you're able to like make it have the same art style to match the theme the whole game has at the moment. The story also has a few pointers that I feel are a bit repetitive, which I feel makes it a little bit redundant. Awkwardly. So I hope they can change that too. Same goes for transitions. I feel like the speed where they go from one location to another is a bit too fast. Or at least like the background flashes instantaneously. I don't think people move that fast, even if it's supposed to be like a in the meantime kind of like moment. They should really think about putting in some transitions. Like at least fade to black first and then fade back to a new background to emulate them traveling. But so far, I think it's not too bad for some areas. Like, it's interesting how Zafan here, only like around the ending of this chapter, you can tell that he is an ex-angel, I think. Because he had wings, but now he doesn't. And he's desperately working in his quote-unquote workshop to earn them back. But the word earn them back means that he has done something for it to be lost in the first place. And it has something to do with Felix, which used to be her good friend. Also, give me a quick second. I just saw something. I see that you've unfortunately lost in your duel. Acid, I'll need to refund you back your little amounts of money. Oh, that's weird. It's not popping up. Oh, let me try that once more. There you go. The pop-up needs to appear for it to properly count in. But yeah, honestly, I didn't expect to end this part so early, actually. Let me see if I can... You know, I want to see if I can get a different ending. Like, what if I just didn't bring in the cat? From here, right? Okay. Because I took the cat in and then it caused this entire problem that was going on. So, like, if I don't take the cat, what happens? I think you should stay with your owner, won't he be lonely without you? Despite my words, I think it was obvious that I really wanted to take him home with me. Misty Kitty growled and clung to me. How could I resist? Oh, okay. It doesn't change then. So regardless if you take the cat or not, he still goes with you. Okay, so this is still the same. Okay, for this, I'm just gonna purposely choose back the same options as I did before, because I wanted to see if there are any changes. Wait, oh. Welp is dead for good now. It's crazy though. Oh, this is the same as before then. I don't think there's any changes here. Oh, wait. Did it just end there? Okay. So I don't think there was much differences then. That's awkward. That's awkward to know. Also kind of confusing. I don't know if like the decisions I've chosen so far is only applicable for that one character. I think a good thing for this visual novel to have as well is to have like a affection button so that people can go in and check in the affection meter. Usually for visual novels that is very handy and very useful. And also, you know, so that you just don't forget which part of the goddamn story you're on. I feel like these would be some nice like additions if Salvus Aries is able to work on it. Like, overall, on the surface it does look like it's really well polished though, but I guess you'll never know until you actually played it. Honestly, it's not too bad. It could definitely be better. The sprites are very pretty, yes. Though I am still very surprised at the voice actors. Like, the voice acting, on its own, it's not bad, but like, when put together in certain situations and scenarios, I do feel like the tone of voice is not exactly where I expected it to be. Like, there are some scenes where I thought the situation is pretty serious, so I don't think you're supposed to sound too cheery, or like, they should change her vocal tone from high to low, because you know it's a grave situation. I don't think you want someone that's like you know, like, oh shit, everybody's in trouble, to be like really cheery, you know, like that doesn't sit too right with me. I saw a little bit of like typos as well, but it isn't too bad. I say typos, but it's more like an extra comma or something. And also I feel like they might have purposely used quite a few quote-unquote more difficult English phrases and words, even though technically you don't have to. You could if you wanted to, but it makes just understanding the story sometimes much more difficult. And if they were to use quote-unquote difficult words in their storylines, I just wish they would give like a mini dictionary as well, just for people to understand what that actually meant. Like example, like example like the word exquisite. We of course we know what the word exquisite is, but there might be some people that don't know the word exquisite. So like, you know, it'd be nice if there was a function where you could like move your mouse over to the word, like to the difficult word, and there'll be a button for you to check out like exquisite meaning this and that, yada yada. Using harder vocabulary just to make the character sound sophisticated. Yeah, exactly. Exquisite is such an exquisite word. Oh my god, Theo! That's beyond the point though. So, if I do have to give this game a rating, I can't give it a full rating though, unfortunately, because it is still a work in progress situation going on. But, frankly speaking, not that high, which I'm surprised. I guess I do have like a ranking criteria when it comes to visual novels. First off, we go with character design. Character design is beautiful. It's very pretty, yes. But I wish there were more facial options for certain scenarios. There was certain scenes in the story that said that like oh, it's a pretty happy moment. Maybe she's shy, you know, and she's blushing. But I think because they don't have the facial plate for her, she looks like she's terrified. And you know, it changes the mood of the story straight away. Hello Irela, welcome in. I'm currently giving my final like review for this game. But anyway, like I said, sprites wise, I can give it a good solid 8. I can give it an 8 out of 10 for just the character sprites at the moment, because it is very pretty. I do have to give it an 8 though, because afterwards, first is for the lack of facial extra expressions. Usually for facial expressions, especially if you're just planning to show the girl, you will have to prepare much more for the girl, just because she won't appear as often in other places and whatnot. Then, they added in another character earlier, which was that rune character, which was like this angel-looking dude. The design is nice, but on one shot, you can clearly tell the difference or the art quality of his sprite and compared to the others, that I almost thought it was done by a different artist. It could be done by a different artist, but the art direction was a bit too drastic. That it looks pretty sketchy. So the points are taken off for that, unfortunately. Then goes for backgrounds. Backgrounds so far, you could tell they're not too bad. It doesn't feel uniquely this game though. And I feel like they could have added a few more extra places in mind. Same goes for like the background music as well. I realize they don't have much music choices at the moment. According to this list here, they only have about 23 music themes. So one is Hell. Then we have one for every character if I am not wrong. So it's your Kames Bar, Fellow of Hearts theme, Felix theme. And let's see. Yeah, I don't think they have the right amount of musics at the moment. So honestly, I can't fully penalize them for that either, because it is still demo. They can always get more musics at the end of the day. But like, I wish they would make use of sound effects more, especially for like the theme park area that was in the game earlier. like when you think of a theme park, you're thinking of hearing happy noises in the background, right? You know, like children laughing, talking, like a buzzing sound effect, or like even like just, you know, people like happily like cheering because they got on, like screaming because they got on the roller coaster. I was expecting to hear that, but I didn't hear anything. Like it was pure silence, and that alone gives a different like vibe on how you view the theme park. When you hear those background sounds, at least you know the theme park is popular, it's packed. There are families, there are children there. But when you don't put in those sound effects, that sounds like some kind of abandoned theme park. Doesn't help as well that usually for visual novels, you don't draw every single side character in there. So you need sound to compensate for that. So, yes, unfortunately for that though, background sounds and sound effects points will have to drop down pretty low. Unfortunately, it's not below standard, it's just you can do better. It's a 6. It's a 6. Also, would love to see them use some transitionings because the change from one location to another is a bit too sudden. They need some fade-ins at least. Fade to black of movement scene. Don't change from one background to another because it just seems as if they just teleported there. Which would seem awkward in the scenario they're in. You can't just teleport to the human world. Why do you make that one random background for you to move to the human world in the first place? You had a magic elevator for that. So, if they work on these pointers, it would, the experience would definitely change for the better. It would be so much better. So, CG as well, also because it is pretty new, looks to be that there isn't many CG slots in the first place. So it says here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's supposed to be 13 pictures here. But if I'm not wrong, the first 6 is supposed to be based off like the main quote-unquote 5 to 6 characters that we've seen. To get one each here. And then the next page will be like the secondary CG arts from like when you continue said character's route. And then the last one maybe is for like completing all the CGs. This is by guessing so far. So basically every character only has 2 CGs. For a short base game, it's fine. 2 CGs per character is not bad. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's just how to say, kind of you wish for more. People wish for more CG scenes. It's understandable they can't put in too many of it because then the value of the CG just kind of loses its point. Like this is nice for an introductory one. There's supposed to be one more here, but I honestly can't tell what kind of CG they will put here. For normal romance visual novels, the standard call for CGs usually is one is like a first encounter CG, or like a scene where they have the most fun together CG, and then the other one that's usually majority of the time always a given is a kissing CG, or like some kind of romantic moment CG, depending on it. So I'm guessing it might be here, but the thing is that you're only giving us just 2. Because the thing is that you do need something other than just that. There are people that just want one singular CG that has that one set character by themselves in a cool pose, you doing a cool action and whatnot, whatever. Because people must understand that CGs, at the end of the day, will get used by people as wallpapers as well. But you don't have to draw it with the intention of making it a wallpaper, you know? You want to kind of see it unfold in the back of your mind. The PowerPoint slideshow? I mean, since I got the game, I have to review it seriously. I'm reviewing this entire game with all the knowledge of visual novels in my mind. I am a connoisseur for these kind of games. And mind you, I have played quite a good amount of it, regardless whether or not people called it good or bad. I will view it with my own point of view. And so far, all I can say is, it does have potential. It can definitely do better. If they do fix their problems. But if they don't fix it, unfortunately, it would be a letdown. But so far, it's not too bad. It is not too bad at the moment. Though I wish they could get the voice actors to change the tones for certain areas too. I feel like maybe the voice actors might not be at fault as well. Like, maybe they weren't given enough like direction on how the story was going. There were definitely some moments that were supposed to be much more serious and they just weren't. Anyway, how long have I streamed? It says here I've streamed for about almost 2 hours, but I'm already down to the second half of the game. So I don't think I can do anything else either actually. Technically I could try seeing another character's like story as well. But I think that might take a bit too long. But we can try. You know what? If I'm not wrong, according to the developers, they were doing the voice lines for Velafort the most actually. Like if I'm not wrong, I think Velafar's quote-unquote route is finished. So honestly, I should have played this one to be honest. But let's see. Hello? My, it appears you've been learning well. I like how there's like 3 here. It's a bit intimidating. I'll do my best. Help me. Sending emoji. Let's try sending emoji. It'd be a nice addition to have you in our group. It's a bit difficult. My fingers press the wrong button sometimes. Haha, it still happens to me now and then. Are you sure you're not just saying that to make me feel better? I feel like they could also change the text as well. The text bars can be definitely further improved on. Because it's hard to tell which is her inner words and which is not her inner words just from the flick of her icon bar. Here, this goodness, do I really seem like the type to lie? No, of course not, sorry. I only tease, keep up the fine work. Like, I wish they would put some kind of bracket here, so it's easy to tell. Like, if she's talking to someone, or someone is talking, they put a smaller bracket, and with what the bracket means is an inner monologue, or the text that helps to move the story along. Great, now call someone. What? We were moving too fast. Call back Velafar. Go.
Is this the next part of your test?
This is the next part of this. Yes, I think I'm getting rather proficient at this calling thing. Oh, have you been practicing with the others? No, just you.
Ah, well, you're doing excellently. I am assuming that your phone is still in one piece.
I honestly thought they just changed the font for the inner monologue. That's why I mean, you could just change the font for the monologue as well, but it's not very obvious to be honest. There are some people that aren't able to tell apart fonts that well. I've learned how to draw things anymore.
My, you're learning quickly. I'm proud of you. However, if the urge ever does strike you to throw your phone once more, please aim it towards Aries.
Oh, do you have a grudge against him?
Not at all. You are simply the only one who could get away with it.
I'm not entirely sure about that. He may retaliate.
I shall offer you my protection.
Then I will aim as best as I can.
Excellent.
Look at you! Passed with flying colors. He ruffled my head with a proud look in his eyes. Thanks, teacher. Of course, my star pupil. Alrighty. He clapped his hands together. How about we go get some lunch and Val can give you a tour of the place. Since you'll be working out closely, best to get to know each of us better. Okay, so I think this part is the same as well. Let's skip.
It looked like you were doing pretty well, so I thought I would make my way over.
Oh, that's pretty fast. Okay, so there is a difference depending on which option you choose then. Like I said, I wish there was one more option just to see status, like depending which option you choose, that would increase affection for a character and whatnot. His job, although I could not admit it out loud, I actually forgot the aspect of his job that involved souls, transportation, and the events before and after.
Come on, let us start. Over there, you have the training hall.
Okay, what's in there?
A lot of training dummies. Typically, the goal is to take out as many of them as possible in a short amount of time. Or you have a target, and you have to take them out as quickly as possible without accidentally killing one of the innocents.
Does the line of work involve a lot of combat?
It depends. There's always the chance to encounter unfriendly spirits.
I don't know if I did this dialogue already or not. I think I did. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen this dialogue. That is just I agree with Valafar. Let's see what happens here.
Oh, then let's see what you got.
Okay, still beat you, Valafar, haven't I?
So you have. So you have. Since you're so proficient, how about you show Miss here the ropes later?
Oh yeah! I noticed something odd as well, which is here. Earlier you hear him say, since you're so proficient, how about you show Miss here the ropes later? The name itself. Because I set my character to the default name, Aina, I was expecting to either hear it or not hear it completely. They need to stick to either one, because there are some times where I hear the other characters actually still pronouncing the character, the default name as well. So it gets really confusing whether or not, you know, like, so do they speak her name? If it's the default name? Or do they not speak her name? For clarity wise.
Very well.
This is a 2-year job. Okay, this is the same.
I am not you, Aries. I am the tour guide. You can handle her training. For someone who made sure her arrival would be perfect, you enjoy pretending other.
Okay, this is the same as well. Let's see what happens next if I do this. We didn't actually get any work done. This excursion is more of a test whether you collapsed from culture shock. Yeah, this is the same.
It is true. You cannot falter for that one. I saw you flinch as well.
Okay, this is the same. Something evasive, everything was hiding something. Blah 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 blah, heaven. Okay, this is the same. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it as well. Though I wish the skip button had more of a, rather than just skip to the next choice button. Okay, I'm back to here again. No, you can stay behind. And then the cat is still gonna come with you. Valafar. Let's see what happens here. Are you awake? Wow. Like what? Oh dear, sorry for disturbing you. Pardon me, the screen is a little blurry. I just woke up. I'm really sorry for waking you up. Oh. You can see the little weird gaps here as well. I feel like they could use better fonts as well. No, do not fret. What is on your mind? Too many things. Understood. Need to get some fresh air. Please, can we go to the rooftop? Can I come and collect you? Leave it for you. Thank you. Okay, this is the same as the Safan one basically. It's just that you choose different characters and you talk to them on the rooftop. Sleepy. Must have fallen asleep early. Yes, I sleep well like the old man you believe me to be. Not once did I call you old. When will you let that go?
And it wasn't even a passing thought.
He paused before the elevator and crossed his arms. I tried to press the button, but he swiftly blocked me. Damn. Well, all of you are old, correct?
Not Aureus. He's only been here for the past 100 years.
Only 100, but he looks my age. Well, no, I think I look a little younger. I patted my cheeks to show off my glowing youth, and he chuckled, stepping aside to give me passage into the elevator.
Sure you are.
What? What does that mean?
Absolutely nothing. I'm only teasing you.
I think he had the potential to be meaner than Game. I didn't know that you could do that.
Tease?
Yes. Oh, tease me in particular. You're always nice to me. I said that time I broke my phone. And you've gotten much too comfortable. Always be on guard. And I get that enough from Aureus already.
Then I suppose that leaves it to the rest of us to balance out by being nice people.
As the elevator doors open, I find myself breakfast with the lovely garden flowers.
Here we are.
This is the same.
What do you think?
Okay, must come in more
Is that
often.
right? I suppose we can make the trek here for you. Perhaps relaxing here for a while will be just what you need.
Okay, so we can definitely tell that he has more lines, like voice lines, though I don't know, is it actually fully out yet? You know what, let me double check the patch. Because the last time I saw the patch on Steam itself for this, it says that, quote unquote done. Where is it? Community guide. Okay, I think I found the guide. Oh, there is a guide for it, like to see like whichever character. And this is why I feel like a status bar is still important. And so it's crazy when I realized on the Steam itself it says here that all added affection and decisions matter in this round. This will all go directly into achieving any of the 3 endings, a set of 14 choices to choose from during this route. Which is crazy when you think about it, because if you have 3 endings, you definitely need a lot more CG art for that to properly make it stand out. So hopefully they have more. Okay, let's see. I remember there was one that told me whether or not it was fully like out or not. Because I remember I saw something around the lines of like finishing the game to a certain point, basically. There you go. Voice line patches and whatnot. Is it this one? No. Okay. Fix typos, fix voice line errors, fix missing CG for Velifar's route. Upgrade background. There it is. Introductory route for Velifar is available. It features multiple endings. It's an early access roadmap, according to Steam. In order below is expectation of our routes coming up to until we reach a full release version 1.0 for the game. During this time, we aim to polish the game as much as we can to ensure that everything is in tip-top shape. Currently, the game is partially voiced and some characters may not have sprites just yet while we work through production. According to what they say. I remember them saying around like how many percent done or whatnot. So, at the moment, I don't think I can fully fault them for anything as well. Because just for the story alone for so far, I do think it's interesting enough as it is. Though I don't know how the route for Velifar is looking. But you could tell it's pretty nice as well. So far, it's looking okay. I'm not going to be fully reading it out though, because I don't think I'll be playing his route.
I thought you would fret
on
over
stream at
aging
least.
faster by being next to me, which won't happen for the record. Yes and no. We can still be harmed, as you know.
Do we ever age?
Not unless you choose to.
Penny for your thoughts.
Ah, so you were thinking about how old I am again.
Okay.
I suppose that's not the reason you brought me here? Although, I am quite flattered. I imagine you're still thinking about our talks from earlier.
Okay.
No matter how many years you've roamed or slumbered, you still feel the same. I can't say I sympathize with your feelings for that man.
Okay.
But I am not here to judge you. Even though you are a Reaper in name, you are still very much a human.
I can still tell the fact that for the voice actor for Velifar here, it's really good. The voice matches the character very well. I still do feel there is a difference, how I say, there are some voice actors I feel could have gone in a different vocal direction. All of them sound a bit low. I want more variety. Are you more human or Reaper?
I do not know. I'd like to say that I have killed off that part of me that is a human.
How much do you remember of your human life? Most of it, I believe my memories are clearer than yours. I feel guilty for forgetting. It's like I know the names of the chapters, but not much of their contents. Ow. Thank you for the stretch and hydrate.
It isn't your fault. Passing from one world to another is taxing on the mind. It is a surprise you can recall much at all.
Why did you remember your human life? You said it wasn't common for the people to retain it.
I asked to be able to remember, so that I would never choose to reincarnate into such a world. And they honored my request.
You have much disdain for the human world.
I do. I was surprised that I was even allowed a choice. But it is what it is.
Okay. I'm a troublesome human. Do you find me just as distasteful?
You are nothing but a friend to me.
Really? I usually feel like more like a blotter.
Now why would you think that? You are under a great misapprehension. Not once have you been a burden, and never will I think of you as such.
Yeah, the voice acting is not bad. It's pretty nice. Bellafar's voice is very soothing and matches the character very well so far. And then the Frenchy smanchy English words matches this character's like this character basically. Good stretch.
Oh, are we not speaking right now? Ask carefully. I start charging at a certain point.
I still wish there were more lines that were actually fully voiced though. I mean, so far he does seem to have voiced out like majority of his lines, but there are still some that are not voiced out, which is also kind of awkward. Like, why wouldn't those lines be voiced as well if they're being voiced out like in order?
I was a soldier. I had a couple of siblings, 2 younger brothers. It was a rowdy household. Toughened me up, but I wouldn't trade my family for the world.
Okay.
As do I, with my own. There are certain things we cannot change. Perhaps neither of us were at any fault. Perhaps circumstances were beyond our control. You will go mad if you dwell on it.
Okay.
I feel the exact same way. It is why I cannot reside with humans. I cannot forgive humanity. I cannot forgive myself. I do not want to suffer again. We cannot wallow in guilt forever, though. So I choose to live a life where I cause the least harm possible. I wake up, I do as divined by the universe, and I return home.
Okay, is that what makes you happy?
I am content. You shall settle on your path one day. I just wanted to see if you had settled into bed yet.
This transition thing should be changed. And also, I think it'd be interesting as well, like if they try to put maybe a voice filter when using this device, so it makes it sound as if that you are using like a phone watch or something. But so far, it's fine. I think from Velafar, just seeing through Velafar's route itself, it seems okay.
My back, you're a liability.
Though I'm not planning to play it properly.
I can hear you pouting. Not climbing out of your window to sneak off somewhere. Although, you do have long enough hair for it. A matter of perspective then. Sleep well.
Oh, and then it just goes to black. The screen just goes to black. Crazy. At least fade it off to black. And here you fade in. Okay, so this part is still the same.
Where are you? Ah, Aries, there you are.
Is this
You came. I heard from Lilia that you
oh,
brought
okay.
her here to show
Okay,
her.
so I guess it is a scene then that you get shown the memories of, like, you know, your friend getting beheaded and dying, killed by Cain, blah 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 blah.
Is that correct? Are
Okay.
you out of your mind? Why must you return to such a dark time? Will you apologize, Kame? Perhaps not today, but when you return to some semblance of decency, you will apologize to her and to me.
Okay.
Do not shed tears over a ghost that is not worth your pain. No more.
Okay.
Let today be the closure you find, and free yourself of him. Let his villainy die in unimportant.
Okay. I'm not planning to spoil myself too much in a sense. I'm just here to double check.
I know better than to kick you while you are down. We can discuss this when you've recovered, physically and mentally. For now, we should go home.
Okay.
Ah, well. I am unsure how to offer comfort. Do you wish me to hold you like Aries did? To carry you? Right. Well, let me just...
Okay.
If this is uncomfortable for you, please let me know at once.
Okay. So far, some of this is fine. So I guess the quote-unquote main storyline is more or less the same with everyone. Except for this scene here, I guess. Because, like... Is this here? The original one, I think, has Zafan riding the car with Seer in the back with his wings cut off already. So like it's awkward because you're seeing all the chaos in one. And this is a separate car because I remember in the beginning they showed off that they have two different vehicles driven by two different people. So I'm guessing this is like the second car itself. So it's nice that they give a different like a viewpoint as well.
I've returned. I've told Aries to sleep, so I will keep you company for now.
Okay, so I think here is more or less the same as well, where basically they just kind of comfort you for like whatever tragedies that she has seen so far and whatnot, yada yada. I don't think I want to continue on further at this point, because then it would have been considered like a proper playthrough then, and I would have done that more properly. So let me see here. I might purposely end the gameplay for this here. So I might end my stream early, because this will be made into a VOD for YouTube. Hi YouTube. But also, and then I'll restart a new stream. Maybe. And then we can just kind of go through some different games instead. So, let's see if there's anyone that we can drop by. Okay, wait, we do have someone we can drop by. Let me just copy her name real quick. So today's stream is extremely short. I might not even start back a new stream, to be honest. I might just go straight into Discord. So like, if you want to catch me, I'll be in Discord. Finger guns. So anyway, without further ado, before we go off, it is time for the Genpecto Battle Royale. Time to fight. Is there a button to the main menu? There you go. So here's the raid button. Here's my sub-raid messages. Today's insanely short, because honestly I was not expecting the game to cut me off like that either. But then again, it is also a demo. But hopefully, once the game actually does properly finish off, like updating improvements and whatnot, maybe I'll go back to properly playing it again from the beginning. Hopefully this time I won't need to voice out everything by myself too much. Hopefully most of the lines will be voiced by the guys. Will be done as well. So yeah. Anyway, congratulations to Stay Frosty. Congratulations for winning the little bell there. We will go over to our good friend here. It is a little hell puppy. She's amazing. Please send your warm regards. Enjoy her stream because she's very, very cozy. She's very nice as well. Plus, she has amazing voice acting skills. My voice acting isn't that fantastic as well because my throat hurts. So, yes. You guys will have fun at that place. So, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon. But if not, I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye bye. Whee!